Hello, my name is Wender Prada, and I'm going to be making a book review today. The book I'm reviewing is called The 2016 Elections and the Crisis of American Liberalism by Caleb Maupin. He's a political analyzer and a journalist from RT. You guys can look him up at calebmaupin.info. Just to get straight to things, is that Caleb Maupin starts out his book like it was some kind of story in a way, kind of like 1984 by George Orwell, who also wrote Animal Farm, which I thought was pretty interesting. Later in the book, Maupin depicts millennials as a more politically motivated group than ever before, in a way. He also talks about that the military began a series of exercises in the southwestern states that was codenamed Operation Jade Hell, which I thought was very well researched. And the next page, which I thought was pretty interesting, is that the Republican Party back in the 1860s was a very radical group and took the name from the Radical Republican movement. He also talks about that the Republican Party newspaper of New York City, the New York Tribune, hired Karl Marx as a London correspondent. Um, Later in the book, Maupin talks about groups who are against the U.S. and Saudi Arabian imperialism. Talks about how Osama bin Laden was aided by the CIA to help build the Wahhabi army in Afghanistan to fight the PDP. He talks about the Nigerian government that slaughtered Shia Muslims in December, which I didn't know about, and I bet you that the majority of Americans didn't know about this either. Um, he talks about the Wahhabi kingdom, and Hillary Clinton worked closely with the top U.S. oil companies. Talks about Clinton being openly bankrolled by Exxon and Mobil, and other huge oil companies. Throughout the book, Caleb talks about this corrupt liberalism in the government. It's very well researched. He gives explanations and evidence to back up his statements. He also talks about Napoleonic maneuvers by the Security Council. He uses an analysis and an emerging left anti-populism, and uses books and films as an example that pretty much states that populism is just a derogatory term. I also liked how he mentioned Governor Wallace from Alabama. I being from there, I only knew a little bit of Governor Wallace. I know that he ran for president, but what Maupin said in his book is that Governor Wallace ran for president 4 times, and I didn't know that. Wallace was also denounced by both major parties, both Democrats and Republicans. Just all of this is what makes his work great. I'll be honest, Maupin has taught me a lot of things dating back to February. He's taught me things that I never learned in school, and he even talks about that in his book. All in all, I think this book is pretty amazing, to be honest. I give it a 5 out of 5. I highly recommend it to anybody who's into politics, history, pretty much anybody. Really good book. It's pretty satisfying. That should conclude the review for today. Thank you.